Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. Let that sink in for a second. Because the truth is, a lot of us are out here handing out front row tickets to people who don't even clap when we win. We're letting people into our most vulnerable, most personal, most sacred spaces. Our minds, our fears, our struggles, without ever asking ourselves, is this person even qualified to be here? And that's where the problem starts. Because when you're in the middle of a battle, whether it's personal, emotional, financial, spiritual, it's tempting to reach out and share. You want someone to talk to. You want comfort. You want to be understood. But here's what you have to understand. Not everyone is equipped to handle your battle. Some people will take your vulnerability and weaponize it. Some people will smile to your face and gossip about you 5 minutes later. And some, let's be honest, are simply not mature enough, wise enough, or supportive enough to hold space for your struggle without projecting their own insecurities onto it. You wouldn't go to a dentist and ask for heart surgery, right? So why are you going to emotionally unavailable people for emotional support? Why are you asking someone who's never started a business how to build yours? Why are you sharing your goals with people who've never pursued one of their own? We make this mistake all the time, sharing our hearts with people who've shown us over and over again that they can't be trusted with it. And then when they disappoint us, when they criticize or dismiss us, we act shocked. But they're just being who they've always been. We're the ones who gave them access. This is where boundaries come in. This is where you take a step back and ask, who in my life truly supports me? Who listens without judging? Who lifts me when I'm low? Who stays consistent even when things aren't easy? Because those are the people who've earned a front row seat. The rest, they can sit in the balcony or maybe not be in the room at all. It doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you cut everyone off, but it does mean you learn to be selective, disciplined, wise. Because when you're going through something hard, your energy is already fragile. Your mindset is already under attack. You can't afford to be around people who feed your doubt, magnify your fears, or quietly enjoy your pain. You need people who remind you of your power, not your limits. And here's the thing, some people love you, but they still don't get it. Maybe they're stuck in their own fear. Maybe they haven't healed. Maybe they're just wired differently. That doesn't make them bad people. But it does mean you don't need to involve them in every part of your process. You can love someone and still not share everything with them. That's not being secretive. Think about the most successful, grounded, emotionally healthy people you know. They aren't telling everyone everything. They have trusted inner circles. They've learned that privacy isn't about hiding, it's about preserving your focus, your dreams, your healing. Because when you're in a battle, you don't need more noise, you need clarity. You need strength. You need truth. And you're not going to get that from people who can't even show up fully for themselves. So the next time you're tempted to open up to someone, pause. Ask yourself, has this person earned the right to hear this part of me? If the answer is no, it's not rude to stay silent. It's not cold, it's wise. It's necessary. You're not obligated to explain your battle to people who can't help you fight it. Your journey is yours. Guard it, protect it, and most importantly, share it with people who show up, not just when you win, but when you bleed. Those are the people who belong in the front row. Everyone else, they can watch from a distance. Unqualified opinions can derail your growth. And the truth is, we give those opinions way too much power. You're in the middle of trying something new, working on a dream, recovering from a setback, or pushing through something hard. And what do most of us do? We start talking. We ask people what they think. We share our plans. We open up about our struggles. And we do it without asking one critical question. Is this person qualified to give me advice? That question changes everything. Because not every voice in your life should be given a microphone. Not every comment deserves your attention, and not every opinion is worth your energy. The moment you open your mouth and share your battle with someone who hasn't walked your path, hasn't done the work, and hasn't earned the right to influence your mindset, you run the risk of being pulled off track. One little comment, one judgment, one dismissive shrug, one, "Are you sure you can do that?" And suddenly your confidence starts to shake. Your vision starts to blur. You start questioning what you were once so sure about. That's the power of an unqualified opinion. It plants doubt in places where you were starting to grow roots. Think about it. You wouldn't ask someone who's never run a marathon how to train for one. You wouldn't take financial advice from someone who's drowning in debt. You wouldn't ask a person who's never built a healthy relationship how to fix yours. But we do this emotionally all the time. We let people who have no experience, no insight, no real understanding of our dreams or struggles weigh in like they're experts, and we listen. We internalize their opinions. We start playing smaller just to fit inside their limited perspective. Why? Because we're wired for connection. We want to be understood. We want feedback. But feedback from the wrong person is more dangerous than no feedback at all. It's like asking someone who's colorblind to critique your painting. They're not seeing the full picture, but they'll still have something to say. And if you're not careful, you'll change your entire vision based on their incomplete view. Here's what you need to remember. Opinions are cheap. Everyone's got one. What matters is whether that opinion is coming from a place of experience, growth, and care. If it's not, let it go. You're not obligated to take advice from someone just because they're loud, just because they're close to you, or just because they love you. Yes, even people who love you can give terrible advice, not because they want to hurt you, but because they're projecting their own fears, their own limitations, their own unresolved stuff onto you. And that's why discernment is key. You have to get clear about who actually adds value to your journey and who just adds noise. If someone hasn't done the inner work, if they haven't taken risks, if they haven't learned how to regulate their emotions or stretch beyond their comfort zone, they are not qualified to speak into your process. They might mean well, but meaning well doesn't equal being helpful. Growth is fragile, dreams are fragile, and the early stages of anything new, whether it's healing, building, changing, are the most delicate. That's when you need support that builds you, not advice that breaks you. You need people who hold you accountable without shaming you. People who believe in your potential, even when you can't fully see it yourself. That's the kind of feedback you want. The kind that calls you higher, not drags you down. The kind that sees the fire in you and fans it, not smothers it. So from now on, before you ask for advice or share something vulnerable, pause. Ask yourself, does this person have the mindset, the experience, and the heart to speak into this situation? If the answer is no, don't share. It's not cold, it's not arrogant, it's strategic. You are protecting your momentum. You are not weak for needing guidance, but you are responsible for where you get that guidance from. Because the wrong words from the wrong person at the wrong time can make you doubt the very thing you were born to do. Don't let that happen. Be selective with your battles, and even more selective with who you let speak into them. Not every voice deserves a seat at your decision-making table. Energy is contagious. Protect yours. You've heard that phrase before, but have you really felt the truth of it? Every single person you interact with either gives you energy or takes it from you. There is no neutral. And when you're in the middle of a battle, whether it's something internal like anxiety or self-doubt, or external like a career change, a relationship challenge, or personal loss, your energy becomes sacred. It's the fuel that keeps you moving, healing, building. You have to protect it like your life depends on it, because honestly, it does. Now, here's the problem. Most people are not protecting their energy, they're leaking it. And a huge source of that leak comes from sharing their struggles with the wrong people. People who don't uplift you, people who minimize your experiences, people who don't have the emotional bandwidth to hold what you're carrying, but pretend they do. And the scariest part, most of the time, it's not even obvious. It's subtle. It shows up in the sigh after you open up and someone dismisses your feelings. It shows up when someone listens but doesn't really hear you. It shows up in the quiet judgment, the fake support, the backhanded advice. And if you're not paying attention, you absorb it. Their energy becomes yours. Their fear becomes your hesitation. Their bitterness becomes your insecurity. Their small mindset starts to shrink your potential. That's how powerful energy is. Just being in the presence of someone who's constantly negative, cynical, or emotionally unavailable can start to shift how you see yourself in your situation. You might start thinking your dream is too big, that you're asking for too much, that your pain isn't valid, that maybe you really are overreacting, that maybe you should just settle, quit, or stop trying. But those aren't your thoughts. They're seeds planted by someone else's energy. Someone who didn't have the capacity to support you in the first place. This is why protecting your energy isn't just about cutting people off. It's about being intentional. It's about boundaries. It's about recognizing who adds light to your life and who dims it, and then making choices accordingly. That doesn't mean you only talk to people who agree with you. It means you prioritize people who respect you, challenge you with love, and meet your vulnerability with empathy. Because here's what happens when you share your battles with the right people. You feel lighter, not because they fix everything, but because they make you feel seen. They hold space without needing to fill it. They don't try to change your path. They just walk beside you for a bit and remind you that you're not alone. Their energy strengthens yours. It calms your nervous system. It gives you perspective without pushing you down. That kind of support is rare, but it's out there, and you deserve it. But to experience that kind of support, you have to stop tolerating anything less. You have to stop explaining your emotions to people who don't understand emotional depth. You have to stop sharing your big ideas with people who think small. You have to stop opening up to people who always make it about themselves. That's not connection. That's energy theft. Every conversation you have is either a deposit or a withdrawal from your emotional bank account. And when you're fighting a personal battle, your account is already under pressure. Don't let it go into overdraft because you kept giving time and energy to people who don't know how to give it back. It's okay to outgrow people. It's okay to get quiet. It's okay to say, I'm not ready to talk about this with you. You don't owe anyone access to your battle. What you owe is loyalty to yourself, to your healing, your progress, and your peace. So be intentional with your space. Surround yourself with people who energize you, not exhaust you. People who listen without trying to fix, who believe in your potential even when you're struggling to see it. That's the kind of energy that will carry you through your toughest days, because energy is contagious. And when you're in a battle, you need to catch strength, hope, clarity, not fear, doubt, or insecurity. Protect your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. Real support is felt, not just heard. We've all heard the right words before. I'm here for you. You've got this. Let me know if you need anything. And sure, those words sound good. They sound supportive, but you know as well as I do, real support doesn't live in what people say. It lives in how they show up. It's in the little things. It's in the way someone checks in without being asked. It's in the way they sit in silence with you when you don't have the energy to talk. It's in how they celebrate your wins like they're their own and hold space for your struggles without needing to fix or judge them. When someone truly supports you, you feel it in your nervous system. You feel calmer around them, safer, more grounded, not because everything's okay, but because their presence doesn't add more weight to what you're already carrying. They don't make you feel like a burden. They don't rush your process or question your timing. They're just there, fully, consistently, quietly powerful. And here's the truth most people won't say out loud. A lot of us are surrounded by people who say they care, but we don't feel safe enough to be ourselves around them. We're performing, editing ourselves, hiding the messy parts because we know deep down they wouldn't get it. Or worse, they'd use it against us later. That's not support. That's emotional survival. Real support doesn't require you to shrink. It allows you to show up fully, flawed, uncertain, hurting, hopeful, and still feel worthy, still feel held, still feel like you matter. And you know what else? Real support is rare. That's why when you find it, you hold on to it, you honor it, you don't take it for granted. Because there will always be people who are quick to judge your choices without ever understanding your reasons. People who offer advice without listening. People who want to be around you when things are good, but disappear the moment things get hard. That's not support, that's convenience. That's performance. That's surface level connection. And it won't sustain you when you're in the middle of a real battle. So if you've been feeling unseen lately, unheard, like you're yelling into a void every time you try to open up, maybe the problem isn't you. Maybe you're just trying to get deep connection from shallow relationships. And that mismatch will always leave you feeling lonely, even when you're surrounded by people. The solution? Stop chasing understanding from people who've never tried to understand you. Stop opening up to people who don't make you feel emotionally safe. Start paying attention to how people make you feel, not just when you're performing, but when you're struggling. Support isn't proven in the easy times, it's proven in the hard ones. It's in the friend who doesn't flinch when you cry. It's in the partner who reminds you of your strength when you've forgotten it. It's in the mentor who challenges you but never belittles you. It's in the person who sits with your truth even when it's messy and complicated. You deserve people like that. People who aren't intimidated by your vulnerability. People who don't try to rescue you out of discomfort but instead walk with you through it. Because they know healing isn't about fixing, it's about feeling. About facing things with someone beside you, not above you. To take inventory of your circle. Who makes you feel seen? Who listens without interrupting? Who respects your boundaries? That's your inner circle. That's your safe space. Everyone else? Love them from a distance if you must, but stop handing them the most delicate pieces of your heart. Because the next time you find yourself struggling, the goal isn't to be surrounded by voices. It's to be surrounded by presence. You don't need noise. You need connection. You need honesty. You need people who don't just say they support you, but actually show up in a way that reminds you, you are not alone. That's what real support feels like. And once you've felt it, you won't settle for anything less.